It's just a regular sheet of paper cut in half along its length. Then it's rolled into a tube, into a diameter just slightly smaller than the wheel nut, held together by a piece of PVC tape, but not at the very end, maybe an inch away from the end to allow this to expand a little bit to friction fit on the nut. You're going to want 4 of these. I made a small line here at 2.5 inches from the center of the hub. In the front, I made that line at the 2-inch mark. You'll remember in the introduction to this series that I said that this 2011 Ford Fusion tracks 1 inch wider at the front than it does at the rear, so we're splitting the difference. Also clever is that we place one of these tubes on a lower lug here, and at the front I placed a tube at the upper lug. That leaves the center of the rim unobstructed for the laser beam. From here, it's a simple matter of kicking the laser around until the beam crosses the line at the rear and at the front. Okay, let's take a measurement at the front. So 1 1/16. And 1 1/16. The specs call for 1/32 of toe in, plus or minus 1/32. So we're well within specs here. Needless to say, the steering wheel is set exactly straight. The technical term for that is clear view. At the rear, it's a different story. So I'm measuring 1.5 inches here, 1 8/16. And over here, it's 1 11/16. So there's 3/16 of toe out, where there should be 1/32 of toe in. Now we kind of anticipated that in the last video when we did a fairly serious camber adjustment on this wheel. And when you do camber adjustments, it will impact the toe adjustment. I wasn't planning on bringing you guys under here, but then I wasn't planning on having to jack this car this high. Those turnbuckles were frozen. I mean, the rust on there was pretty harsh. Took a little bit of heat directly on the nuts, nothing excessive so that it doesn't transfer over to the rubber components. It did the job. I got both sides freed up. So let's have a look at the fruits of our labor here. Measuring 1 9/16 here, and 1/32 more than that over here. Bang on spec. Let's mosey over to the left-hand side. We've got our little paper tubes all set up. The laser lined up to the 2 marks. Good news, I'm not going to have to roll around underneath the front end of this car. I'm getting 1/16 of toe in on the front end on this side. And the other side was good too. So I won't have to mess with the tie rod ends here. Left rear is a whole different story. I've got 1/4 inch of toe out when I'm supposed to have 1/32 of toe in. The good news is that I've loosened that turnbuckle while it was underneath there earlier. One 7/16, 1.5 inches, 1/16 of toe in. We're there. Took me 3 stabs to get here. Job complete, series complete. I think it's fair to say that you've seen some things here that you haven't seen elsewhere, but that's why you come out here on the Gadgets playlist. I want to take this opportunity to thank the international viewers of the channel. Only 10% of the views on here are from my native Canada. The rest are spread across the globe. So people are making an effort in spite of the language barriers. I'm very appreciative. Merci. We'll talk to you guys later.